Oh, this is Baruch Fleischman as we look at this great book, Ultimate Connection with God. Talking about a Jewish book. The things that he's talking about go back thousands of years, approximately 4,000 years. The world is a tough place. And when you're in a tough place, we have to seek connection while in this world with the world beyond. Now, I noticed that in talking to people, it's interesting because, I come from a family of salespeople. We like to, act out, and that's the kind of people that we are, and I really was never interested in science. Since I started learning Kabbalah, getting into Kabbalah, I realized that a lot of people who have a background in physics or think a little bit like that in that area are interested also and could follow the ideas of Kabbalah. They're not the only people out there. I would include like Sfardim and Bali Tshuva and other great people, many people, the Vilna Gaon. I mean, just going on and on and on. But this is all inside what they call pnimius. It's not blaring at you because the pnimius is hidden. So we're going to go over here and look at some more ideas. So here we go, is my pencil. Modern science reveals insights into the spiritual world, so says Rabbi Miimran. So he says, this is a quote from the Chaim, and it says, by sinning, this automatically distances Klal Yisrael, it's the Jewish people, with their Father in heaven. As it's written, you are attached to Hashem until you sin. Okay, interesting. That's the beginning of this lecture. So let's see what Rabbi Miimran says. He said, many modern physicists have postulated the existence of a faster-than-light particle. These are known as tachyon. If indeed this exists, then they probably form a universe in their own place and according to their own properties of physics. Similarly, in the way protons, neutrons, and electrons form us in our universe. When we think of protons, neutrons, and electrons, we visualize them as being light around, like round marbles or balls. That's where you always see this atomic kind of figure. This is how subatomic particles are portrayed in science books and taught in schools. Yet, the pioneer theory in physics today is that these subatomic particles are not these little dots of matter, but rather a group of vibrating strings. Now, whether they're called strings or they're called something else, or just I'm saying on the side, is that the key idea is that there's vibration involved, which are waves. Indeed, all subatomic matter is said to be merely various degrees of resonance vibrating on these subnuclear strings. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. We couldn't see radio waves or television waves, whatever they are, sound waves. We had no idea about these things, but we have progressed. The whole universe then is founded upon sound. Matter is nothing more than a symphony of vibrating strings in space-time. However, there's one unique principle about matter. The vibrating strings all vibrate lower than the speed of light. It's thus possible that there is a universe invisible to us made of particles, sound, resonance upon strings. Sound is really resonating strings that modulate faster than the speed of light. Now, I have to read this again. I saw some problems back there, and I want to go over it again. However, there is one unique principle about matter. So he says one unique principle of matter. He says the strings vibrate. The vibrating strings all vibrate lower than the speed of light. Now, I'm not sure that I really understand. I'm not such a physicist that I understand what this speed means. So the speed, the concept of speed to begin with, is an earthly kind of concept. Because beyond physicality, I don't think speed is really an issue, but he's talking really now about our world. So in our world, the strings that are the subatomic particles really are vibrating, but they're vibrating slower than the speed of light. Now, I'm not sure the implications of that, because I really don't understand much about the speed of light. It is thus possible that there is a universe invisible to us made of particles, which are really sound resonance upon strings. They're waves that travel, and the word for travel is modulate, faster than the speed of light. There's something beyond the speed of light. He wants to say, I think he says that once he say like this, when it's slower than the speed of light, it can be manifest. It can be either seen or appreciated in some way. You can't see radio waves. Okay, so all these waves that we're dealing with constantly now, he's saying that beyond that, because they're manifest, they're slowed down enough they could be manifest, beyond that, there's another level. It's faster than the speed of light. Something which is invisible, cannot be seen or harnessed. That's really at the origin of everything else that's manifest. With the advances in modern physics, the realm of the invisible is no longer the domain of religion and science fiction. The realm of the invisible is now a science fact. We all know that feelings such as love and thought exist. Nevertheless, neither of these can be subject to mathematical analysis or a theory of their operations being presented, their operations presented. All these particles, such as protons, neutrons, and electrons, there is by definition a cohesive bond that binds them together. Now that's another idea. There is some kind of a force that precedes them, that is able to mold them in some way. Comparatively speaking, there is as much space between subatomic particles as there is between planets and stars. Because in one sense, we always think on the Earth as bigger. We're so small compared to what's up above us. So what's up above us we think is bigger, but it also works in reverse. That the same size of proportions work as we go inward. As this is the case, what exactly is the nature of the force that binds matter together? How do subatomic particles that form my hand know they belong to my hand and not to the table upon which my hand presently rests? Now, this is a great idea. At our human level, I can recognize forms, these forms which create the difference between my hand and the table, yet at a subatomic level, all that exists are these little particles that bear no resemblance to that which they form. So he wants to say that the particles are particles, but there is a force behind them, inside of them, that we are not recognizing, that causes them to make a form. How is it that then that they know what to form? What force binds combinations of subatomic particles into atoms and eventually molecules, The answer is the power of Hashem, the Creator. This is where we look, that we realize that there is Creator. As briefly mentioned above, one of the subatomic theories, he says, is that the smallest particle of matter, indeed billions of times smaller than neutrons and protons, are strings. Now, we said that before. These little tiny strings each vibrate in a different way, expressing a different frequency. Now, similar to a violin, one string can manifest different tones. So, too, these subatomic strings each vibrate at a different resonance. Together, these strings create the orchestra of the universe. You can't hear them, you can't see them, but they're deep within what ultimately, and I use this word a lot, is manifest. Manifest means what you can see, because there is a lot behind the scenes. In other words, underlying all forms of matter is our four-dimension space-time, not of any type of particle, but only of a various sounds upon strings. Physical matter is therefore founded upon sound. Now, this is interesting. In order to understand this, we must understand the relationship between physical matter and energy. According to Einstein's famous theory of relativity, which is E equals mc squared, energy is equal to mass times the speed of light. The difference between energy and mass is defined by the speed of light. So energy, I'm not sure how to understand. Let's read it again. Energy is equal to mass, right? If something that has some mass to it, times the speed of light. And what does that equal? That equals energy. The difference between energy and mass is defined by the speed of light. If the string theory is correct, and according to Kabbalah it is, the difference between energy and physical mass is simply the frequency of vibration of the strings. That which vibrates faster than the speed of light is energy, because energy comes first. Energy is like the ultimate seed. That which vibrates slower than the speed of light is going to continue to be mass. We're going to end right here, and we'll make another shear out of this so we can have a chance to digest it. This is Baruch Fleischman. You're listening to the Tikkun Elevator Call.